This was once a Disney movie that was going to go straight to Disney Plus, courtesy of Bob Chapek. But ever since he got fired, I want to give a quick shout out to Bob Iger and Disney for putting this movie on the big screen where it's meant to be seen. A 2002 cartoon classic reimagining, brought back on the big screen 20 plus years later, the live action of Leo and Stitch. In today's review, we're going to be talking about it. Before we get started, if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe button and leave a like, as it really helps a lot. As someone who grew up with Disney classic renaissance like Lilo and Stitch, even the TV show, I do have fond memories of it, and it's interesting that it's getting a live action. Now, I know a lot of people have been dissing on live actions lately, of course, but I will say, when it came to Stitch's design in this movie, just to talk about it, it looks really, really good and looks very amazing. This is like the first time I see Disney pulling off an amazing design of CGI of Stitch, and he looks really, really good. And just to go in this movie real quick, as I bring out my initial reactions, I gotta say it's not perfect as the cartoon would be. I mean, obviously live actions have been hit and misses, but I gotta say this one still has an amazing touch for what the classic has. It's got emotional beats, heartwarming chemistry, and of course, Stitch being the whole part of the show that we all love and known and grown up with, especially to new coming ages that are growing up with this stuff. Leo and Stitch happens to be a better classic live action. Not the best, not the perfect, but a better live action that we've been getting recently than the past couple months. I mean, you had Mufasa, which is decent, but then you have Snow White, and Snow White is a whole different story of can of worms. I'll tell you this right now. It's just beyond disastery. When it comes to Leo and Stitch, it only costed $100 million to make, which is really crazy to think about. And I gotta say, they really pulled off some nice things in this movie that I ever thought they'd do. Just to talk about Stitch real quick, we all go to the movies to remember what we love about Leo and Stitch. And when it comes to Stitch in this movie, he's always the iconic one who steals and becomes the heart and soul of this movie. He's iconic, classic, funny, and entertaining at the same time. That what could you not want more from Stitch in this movie, who also is the iconic part of why Disney has his character through thick and thin through 20 plus years. And I gotta say, I love the way they are able to cap off the same kind of Renaissance classic for what Stitch is from the cartoon days. And many kids out there still Renaissance with this character pretty much. And even adults too that grew up from before and love and Stitch always takes their kids to see this movie. This is one of those properties that they show their kids that they grew up with, and they tap into love Stitch as much as anyone would. And I gotta say, I love Stitch in this movie for what he is. What really worked with me, just like the cartoon, they nailed down the emotional beats very well for what it is like the cartoon. It's heartful, joyful, and emotionally sad at the same time, just like the cartoon had. And you basically see Leo not having any close friends, and she's being picked on, happens to found an adopted Stitch. And with the writing they did with this movie, with their chemistry bonding, they did a great job of that. And it's also really cute. It almost reminds me how I bond with a dog and how much this dog means to me. I see her every now and then, almost all the time, and it reminds me of that moments. Also, they nailed down pretty good with Nanny, which is Leo's sister, and the family bonding is there, so you get to see that every 5 to 10 minutes in this movie. And I have to say, they really, really brought joy, and they brought the emotionness they were able to bring what Disney classics do, and I love that for what they do. So they did a great job with that chemistry, with his performances, of course, and the heartful emotional beats that we all enjoy for what Leo Stitch is. And for what it is, the CGI in this movie is really pretty nice. I mean, like I said, they nailed Stitch pretty good. He looks very iconic, just like the cartoon. But then you have another bunch of characters in CGI. And I have to say, from the opening part of Leo Stitch and some of the commercials they had with this movie, the CGI and the visuals in this movie looks like straight out of the cartoon. And I have to say, for what it's worth for $100 million they make, it's really not over budgeted. It's not even over crazy. They nailed the VFX of these characters very well, like Jumba, Paliki, and then the counselor woman. I have to say those characters look really good on the big screen with the CGI, and they never even disappointed whatsoever. I mean, even for Paliki, I had sort of like doubts for a second going this movie, but then he looks just perfect the way he is. He's also funny, just like that. Jumba as well. And I gotta say, the cartoon animation, the CGI, they look very good for what it is. So I'm glad that they nailed the CGI very good. Just like what most CGIs never nail in Disney live actions. This is something very rare. We see that nowadays. So I gotta say they did a great job nailing the CGI for what it is. Now to the negatives, real quick. I guess some part of the storyline and some character changes have been changed, and I know it's been bothering people. So that's why personally it's not the best live action. I mean, I'll just say this: they sort of make this Jumba character more of a bad guy, which you'll probably get to see this movie as it goes. Captain Gentu, who's also from the original classic of Disney's Leo and Stitch, he's not in this movie, unfortunately. But I know they're gonna make sequels for this movie as they're talking about, so perhaps he'll be in the next one or so. So some of the changes they did with this movie and something that's missing isn't present from the cartoon to the live action. So I guess it really didn't make the cut for some reason. And I know some of the elements from the cartoon, from Pleaky, let's say, dresses up as a woman. It didn't really happen. The director said he tried his best. And I don't know what it would be like for him to dress up like a woman, because I swear I think it would have been a little funny or could have been a little worse, but I don't know. But let's just say for me, it didn't bother me so much for what's missing. They still nailed down a lot of things I previously mentioned, and I think it was really decent job for what they brought Leo and Stitch this live action to the big screen for what it is. And personally, it didn't bother me too much. Overall, Lilo and Stitch is not a perfect live action, but I think it's a better looking one you will ever see up to this day in the Disney Classic Renaissance live actions. The CGI looks great. The emotional beats, the funny humor is all there. And kids and families will be eating this up for more to come in these type of movies. I know this movie's going to have a crazy amount of legs probably throughout the whole summer if it can stand on its own. And right now, like I previously mentioned, it made a lot of money at this box office weekend, Memorial Day wise. I got to give credit to Disney for putting this in theaters and not going on some dumping streaming, because that's basically leaving money left on the table that could have had such potential watching this on the big screen. It's making great for theaters. So shout out to Disney for this. I'm happy for them, and I'm happy for what this movie is. I really had a good time with it. So I'd say this is great for families and kids that are going to eat this up, especially for the kids. They would love to eat anything like this that's classic. Even they never grew up with this before, but their parents and guardians showing them, they would love to be dying to go see a movie like this for Leo and Stitch yet to come. For the pleasure of this movie, I'll be giving this a 7.5 out of 10 and 3.5 stars. I really like this movie for what it is, and it's not terrible. It's not garbage, as I almost expected, like Snow White would be. But Leo and Stitch really topped off pretty well for what it is. But we got more live actions to come. I know the sequels are going to be announced anytime soon, but we'll see what goes. But I personally like this movie a lot for what it is, and I really came out very happy with this reaction. But if you guys have seen Lilo and Stitch, let me know in the comment section below. And which version do you really prefer more, either the cartoon or live action? I personally, obviously would prefer the cartoon, but I kind of like the live action, and they still nailed for what it is. I still liked most of the stuff they were able to brought from the cartoon to the movie, so I gotta say they nailed a few of that. But the cartoon will always be the most Renaissance best version there is, as most Disney classics would have. But if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and leave a like if you enjoyed this review. But most importantly, I want each of you last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for the video, guys. God bless. Peace.